All right, all right. Thank the Lord for so much. Hope everybody's still doing well. Giving a great shout out as always to everybody. You all know who you are. Miss Keisha, love your video and love your comment. You was looking at actually Pop's comment on the other video when he said there was a fight in the funeral. That was Saturday. Yes. Today is Monday. It was a fight Saturday. And no, Pop was actually for real in that comment. Pop is real in all his comments. When he speaks, he's real. And the comment you saw, yes, and it is sad. We talked about it for a while as we played a few hands of dominoes. But yeah, a fight broke out in the funeral. And this is why I want to say this in this video. Thank God for the real churches who are standing boldly, who are blocking out mess. Every church got their problems, but I thank God for the churches who know how to put their mess in check. And when they invite people in the church, the people that come in don't have to see a whole lot of this stuff, man. And I actually did a video, I guess about 4 months ago, talking about ignorance that goes on at a funeral. And here it is this past Saturday, which was a couple days ago. And it was a fight in the church. Had to stop the funeral. And there is no respect in a lot of houses of God nowadays. And this is why I always keep it real when I talk. See, people spend so much time talking about this don't go on in church and that church is so good. And now it's more bad churches outweighing the good churches. Let's just keep it real. It is more bad churches. This is why you hear more bad than good, more negative things than good things. Because even when you look in the book of Revelation and you read about the 7 churches, you see the problem that most of those churches had. Now that number 7 is expanded into I don't know how many numbers now, because that's why I always say on one street, you got 5 or 6 churches on one street who don't get along with each other. And it's a fight between preachers. And to have a fight in the house of God, man, is... And I'm just going to be real when I say this. It was my family church. And I'm so glad I don't go to my family church. I did a video a while back why I stayed away from going back home. Y'all hear me all the time say, best thing I did was left my family church. And I tell any one of them that in their face, if they come up to me, even if they looking at this video, JT don't bite his tongue. I don't care who it is. I am my pop's son. And I speak just like my pop. I tell it like it is. And most people get mad at that. I don't go to my family church often. I don't. Best thing I did was left. And I told y'all in the old video about family churches and how the church is always destroyed pretty much. Why? Because of family. Everybody want to be in charge. They want power. And it's to the point now where, is it about God? Or are you just about your own little ways in your church? It is your church, according to you. And to have a fight break out in the funeral, ain't no respect at all, man. That's why I say people don't respect the house of God, man. People be outside. You can walk outside the church. They smoking on the church ground, cussing, fussing. This is what's going on nowadays. And you want to talk about being holy? Where is the holiness at? It ain't in a lot of these houses of God. No. And when I was going home, matter of fact, I told Pop when I was driving, I said I came through where it was going down at, and police is everywhere. This was a big funeral too. I mean, I don't know how many was there, but cars was everywhere. And when I passed through there, I said, what in the world is going on down here? And then Mama JT came home pissed off. And I spoke to Mama. And she, how you doing, whatever. I said, what you hollered at me for? Because Mama was inside the funeral when it was going down. And she was pissed off behind it. And to sit here and act like this stuff don't go on, it's crazy. I mean, like every time I cut on the internet, every time I look at the news, every time I go around wherever I'm at, I see this type of stuff. That's why I say in this video, thank God for the real pastors, the real churches who are standing. That's why I say in the long run, it ain't going to be, all this stuff I'm talking about on these videos, it's not going to be a part of the new kingdom. See, you can't operate in God's kingdom no any kind of way. People need to understand what the real kingdom is. And you wonder why he said, I'm coming back looking for a church without a spot or a wrinkle. You wonder why judgment starts in the house of God. Let me say that again because a lot of people don't understand this. Judgment starts in the house of God first. People got to understand this. When Christ returned, where do you think the judgment is going to start at? But everybody thinking they raptured out of here. Why do you think I speak so much about the elect? Here's another thing about being a raptured out of her head of time. Like me and Pop was talking about. If that's the case, why did he tell you that the very elect would even be fooled, almost fooled? That lets you know even the elect got to go through something. But everybody with this false teaching, it don't make no sense. The elect have to be bold. Yes. Most people don't understand that. If you are standing boldly for the word of God and you living it and you are, truly a believer, you can consider yourself being part of the elect. See, everybody think, oh, that's the 144,000 and such, this, such, that. People, why do you think you are still here? And all this mess going on in the house of God, that's why he said, let the weeds and the tares grow together. The wheat and the tares, At harvest time, only God can do this separation. In other words, leave everybody right where they are because God is going to do some serious separating. He got to put some folks in check. See, he ain't coming in here to be he ain't coming in here to get put on the cross again, if I can say it like that. He coming in here to go to work. That true judgment that you really don't want to see. He ain't coming in here riding on no donkey like before when the Jews got mad at him because he allowed himself to go on and get arrested and get on that cross and be crucified. And I'm so glad that he did. He not coming back acting like that. He coming here riding with his posse. And it's going, in the words like we said in D-Town, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. And when you look at this stuff that's going on, that's why I say don't even be shocked. It happened in the Bible, and it's happening now. See, people don't never want to talk about those churches, those 7 churches in Revelation. They don't want to talk about what they stand for and why the Lord had so much a problem with quite a few of them. Out of 7, where y'all done seen the videos. And you won't act like the church is all this perfect. Let me say this again. The righteous gonna scarcely be saved. Few gonna be in heaven. It's gonna be a whole lot of church folks bust hell wide open. Oh yeah, I'm bold when I say that. And I don't care what preacher looking at this video. If you ain't got your church in order, running the way God say run, this is why the leaders are held more accountable. And most of these pastors won't even sit their own family down. And most of these pastors that's allow this stuff to go on, they the ones need to be set down because they can't run the church. Matter of fact, they can't even run their own home, but they trying to run the house of God. It ain't going to happen. This is why I stay away from family churches. I have become a better man, a better musician. I am so much better because I left where I was at. I don't have time to keep being a part of BS. That's not me. I have to move around. When God say move, when he give you that auction, you best be moving. Because if you're sitting still, you're going to sit still with the rest of them. I don't know about y'all, but the God I serve is a God of movement. Faith is a moving word, an action word. Faith ain't sitting still. But most people got the whole thing about faith mixed up. They sitting still. Funerals. The ignorance in these funerals. I told y'all in the old video, people want to jump off in the casket. And I seen one preacher even beg for money at a funeral. All of this stuff is not biblical. It's not. This is mess. This is confusion. And the author of confusion is well known as Satan. God ain't the author of confusion, but he is the author of peace. Do your church have peace in it? Thank God for the real churches that are up. I pray that we can get more to fall in the real category. Let me give a shout out to my boy Ramon in Detroit, because I love to hear about churches that are moving forward. PP Jones, Pastor Leonard. It's always a blessing to see Pastor Leonard and other churches that are moving forward. Other preachers who know how to cut down that mess. See, this is why you can't be no weak preacher. That's why I say people got it mixed up about Christ. Christ was not weak. He was meek. You need to learn the difference between meek and weak. Oh, yes, he was humble. This is why when you learn that Jesus is God, when you see this cold-blooded side of God that you don't want to see, God's wrath, penitentiary ain't got nothing on God's wrath. Oh no. So I hope and pray most people start getting it right in these last and evil days that we see coming. Because I ain't saying he coming back tomorrow or next week like a lot of these false people are doing. I'm saying when he come, it's going to be a lot of people caught off guard because they caught up in mess. The fight at the funeral. What kind of funeral is that? What kind of church is that? What kind of preacher is that? What kind of house of God allows any and everything to go on in it? They let you know one thing, don't it? Christ ain't in it. Because wherever's confusion at, Christ ain't in it. How many churches you know got a lot of confusion in them? I know a gazillion of them. And this is why I speak. I speak about what's real. And me and Pop talked, like I say, me and Pop talked about it for a while, man. And it's a shame to me, man. I told Pop, this is why I'm about to stop claiming some family members. I'm going to say I don't even know them. Because they so ignorant, man. I don't know them. I don't associate with them. You ever heard that term, I got to love them from a distance? This is what a lot of people going through right now. I got to love them from a distance. I heard a lot of people say that. I'm starting to understand what they mean by that. Oh, yeah, and I feel them. Because some people you can't be around. They only want to call you when they need something. And sometimes you got a better relationship with people when you're not around them. Because if you are around them, all you're going to do is fuss and fight and lay hands on them. And I'm not talking about what holy are. I'm talking about laying real hands on them and whooping them. Some of these grown folks need a good whooping. They do. But you know what? God going to do the whooping. See, you don't want to get whooped and chastised by the Lord. No. But that's what's going to happen anyway. So to the people who are moving forward, these real pastors, these beautiful churches that are going after the lost and preaching salvation and repentance and not condemning from the pulpit, keep on doing what you are doing. There are some good churches out here, people. There are a lot of good churches out here, but it's more jacked up churches than good churches. We are outnumbered. Yes, we are. That 7 on one street, it might be just one that's good out of that 7, or maybe 2. Like I say, go to Revelation and look at what starts first. When John is speaking in his vision that he saw, those letters to the 7 churches. You'll feel me in this video. God bless you and God keep you.